What you put out is returned tenfold. I think we all have heard that before. So that's part of manifestation, is what you're putting out is coming back to you. Manifestation and demanifestation, the positive, negative, universal laws. Okay, so as you change, you will manifest based on where you're changing into, negative or positive. And you will demanifest those things that no longer fit your polarity. In other words, as you move to one side or the other, you'll find that new things come into your life, which are more in that realm of polarity, and things that didn't work and that you're letting go of will disappear from your life. And that letting go is a process, and we'll talk about that in some of the other workshops. The biggest challenge, however, is getting out of this neutral zone, or even if you're close to it, which most people are, moving in the direction. Because to do this, you have to learn a lot of tools. Because you're going to be going into the unknown for most people, to rely on total release. And we've been trained throughout our lives how to be controlling and how to be fearful. So you got to let go of what you're used to your entire life and move into something you're not used to. And I can tell you from experience, it can be interesting. And a challenge for some people. I would say it was a challenge for me. I didn't have this to start with, though. So let's say that you guys have a leg up on my experiences and the fact that I had to go through this and learn every step of the way. I didn't have any tools. I had to develop the tools. And so it could be a little less of a challenge for some people nowadays. Okay. Importance of polarity for visualization, evolution, and visions and dreams. Again, your ability to visualize your future or what you'd like in your future in your dreams. You will have dreams that will help you make this choice, as well as learn from your experiences. And we'll talk about that a little later in the other workshops. But the importance to polarity, if you're having negative dreams, well, it's important, again, to be aware of them and understand them. And we'll tell you how to do that. Okay, wealth, health, fulfillment, negative versus positive. We already talked about that. You can do anything on either level. Love or control without wisdom. Okay. Unfortunately, if you just have an open heart and you're trying to release, if you don't have wisdom, this path will not work. The wisdom is necessary not to be manipulated by the negative forces. Okay, without wisdom, you will never be able to maintain this state, which is why you've heard the concept, somebody wearing their heart on their sleeve and gets stomped on. Okay? So very important. And the wisdom comes from the understanding on this side. Okay, and you can have wisdom on both sides, but I'm focusing on the positive. I hope everybody realizes that. You know, again, this chart by itself could teach people how to control. Okay, but we're going to be focusing on how to move in this direction. So wisdom is necessary to maintain this side. And you could say wisdom comes with growth and healing. And what you're going to find is that awareness, you could say awareness comes from knowledge. I mean, you read a book, you become aware of a subject. So you could say, okay, I read a book, I became aware of it. Without the understanding, you don't have the growth and the healing from that information. And you also don't achieve the wisdom. All right, so wisdom is necessary to maintain and also accelerate your growth. The infinite paradox. Everything in the universe exists in a paradox. I've learned this. Light and the dark. Okay, we wouldn't be desiring to move into the positive side if we hadn't experienced the negative side. So it's absolutely necessary at this level of our evolution to experience negative actions so that we can make a choice to move positive. You know, saving the whales, saving the trees, saving the rainforests. All of these are based on depletion and control of those resources. Okay, so paradoxes provide challenge and catalysts and induces growth and expansion of consciousness. Often feels forced until we understand the process. In other words, People oftentimes are using control. How about Greenpeace? I mean, they're trying to save the whales, but they're out there in front of the harpoons. I mean, this is, as much as they're doing something which most people would think is really good, they're actually using control to do that. It's a different level of understanding than what I would say, and we'll go into that in more detail. But there's a lot of things in life where you can see this happening. People chaining themselves to a tree so they don't get cut down. This is not release. Okay, and we'll talk about, again, much more of that in the next session about breaking control dramas. Okay, so let's talk about what we're trying to heal. We're trying to heal our present life experiences, our traumas, our pains. If you think about it, the healing is not complete. And we'll go over that in more detail too. In other words, if you think about a painful experience that you've had in your life, then you have not healed over it. Okay? So, guess what? You're hanging on to this side. Okay? Because you haven't learned how to release because you don't understand it yet. And we're going to get into all that. You're aware of it because you had the thought. But until you understand it, the healing doesn't occur. And that's why people get pulled into the neutral zone.